Okay, a kiss however. Alright, hurry up, using profanity. Just give me a moment please. I'll see you when you return. Okay, listen, I have a single date reserved. You deal with the children. You deal with your mum. This is nonsense. You won't dictate to me. I'm talking out of here. I'm shifting the cushion, you see. Yandy, have a great vacation. Okay, baby, this is sum up. Okay, the hurt is worse than any betrayal from the outside world, when family members become your worst enemies. The whole Love and Hip Hop community was rocked by a storm that began as an ordinary day at Yandy and Mendeecees' house. The unimaginable was caught on camera. A furious dispute that got out of hand between Mendeecees' mother, Judy, and Yandy. Before anybody could intervene, Judy smacked Yandy across the face, just in front of Mendeecees' dot. When words became acrid and tempers boiled, years of family conflict, animosity, and pride burst into flames at that one startling moment. Fans were stunned when Mendeecees chose his wife above his mother in his subsequent move, because blood binds you, while love may make you devoted. Occasionally, it is necessary to break one in order to safeguard the other. At this point, Mendeecees' world fell apart. That afternoon, it all began in silence, the sort of quiet that typically precedes a storm. While Mendeecees attempted to wrap up some business calls, Yandy was in the kitchen giggling with the children. For weeks the home had been quiet, which was uncommon in their world. That peace was delicate, however, since tension between Yandy and Judy, her mother-in-law, had been simmering under the surface like a ticking time bomb. Judy had never been very pleased with Yandy's handling of family affairs. Yandy seemed to have too much power over her. From Mendeecees' choices to the upbringing of the children, Yandy was more than Judy's daughter-in-law. She was a rival. Furthermore, Judy believed that she should have the most influence on her son that day. Judy made the decision that she could no longer remain silent. Fire in her chest and confrontation in her eyes, she entered that home. Yandy tried to remain composed as she welcomed her with a kind smile. Judy's voice was already abrasive, however. "Don't pretend that everything is well," Judy remarked. Yandy, in an accusatory tone, "My son has been receiving advice from you on how to handle his own mother." For a moment, Yandy paused, torn between surprise and annoyance. She had heard this argument before, with the same anger and blame. Judy wouldn't have it. She sighed and said quietly, "Miss Judy, I'm not trying to control anything. I just want peace in this family." Years of suppressed passion made her voice tremble as it ascended. "Calm." The room grew quiet. "You call this peace? You made my son choose you over his blood, and you turned him against me." The cameras seemed to pause as well. Sensing the tempest coming, Mendeecees narrowed his eyes and peered up from the other room. Yandy inhaled deeply, attempting to hide her trembling from the camera. "He's never been told to choose sides by me. He is an adult. He chooses for himself. That was it." The fuse was lighted by that single statement. Judy stepped forward, her voice trembling. "Don't act as if I'm unaware of what's happening. I can tell that he pays attention to you, unless you urge him to. He doesn't even call his mother anymore." A little crack appeared in Yandy's voice, anger mixed with pain. "Judy, that's untrue. I've supported this family while he was incarcerated because I adore Mendeecees. I battled so hard to keep everyone together, you know." Judy was not interested in explanations. She wanted to regain her authority. Additionally, individuals fight harder when they believe they are losing control. Mendeecees entered the room with a forceful but composed voice. "Stop, Ma. You're overextending yourself. Judy's expression was one of incredulity as she turned to face him. After all I've done for you, you're now protecting her? After you were raised alone? The air changed at that point. It was felt by everybody. Judy's remarks were sharp. They were all directed directly at her son's heart. Mendeecees tried to maintain his composure by massaging his temples. Yandy, however, could see the pain in his eyes. Once again, Yandy murmured gently. Judy's voice broke as she yelled, "Better! The only one who got better was you. You got the man, the fame, the money, and you forgot where he came from. No one's trying to disrespect you, Judy, but this can't keep happening. The kids are seeing this. We all deserve better." Suddenly, Judy's hand flew across Yandy's face. The room reverberated with the sound. Everybody froze. Yandy staggered back, her eyes wide with shock, her palm covering her cheek at once. Mendeecees' mouth fell open. After a moment of inaction, he hurried forward and extended his arms to stop his mother. His voice broke as he screamed, "Ma, what did you just do?" Judy's face was contorted with a mixture of remorse and rage, and her chest was heaving. She didn't apologize, however. She refused to back down and just scowled at Yandy, her pride. "You hit me in my own house," Yandy muttered, her voice trembling, and the stillness that followed was intolerable. The camera crew wasn't sure whether they should intervene or continue filming. Ignorant of the violence going on beneath, the children above could be heard playing softly. With tears of frustration in his eyes, Mendeecees turned to face his mother. "It's unbelievable that you accomplished it. Ma, you went too far. You made a mistake." Judy's voice broke as she shook her head. "I took the necessary action. This family is being shattered by her." "No, you just did that yourself," Yandy said, caressing her cheek, and that one line lingered in the air like a ghost. It was the turning point in time. Mendeecees glanced at his mother, who had nurtured him, made sacrifices for him, and loved him more than anyone else. When he realized that love, no matter how intense, couldn't repair this type of harm. Everyone, and then turned to Yandy, the lady who supported him throughout his time in jail, his public humiliation, and all the times in between. Mendeecees was forced to choose between them for the first time in his life. The home felt like a cemetery the next morning. Heavy quiet, no laughing, no sound. Yandy was in the guest room, her luggage half packed, her eyes streaming with tears. The emotional bruise was severe, but the burn on her face had subsided. Mendeecees sat on the sofa and gazed at the floor in blankness. He hadn't slept. Like a wound he was unable to heal, the picture of his mother smacking his wife kept coming back to him. Judy, on the other hand, went about the cooking as if nothing had occurred. As she prepared breakfast for the children, she mumbled to herself that she had done nothing wrong. Even her, however, secretly sensed the coldness of her actions. Mendeecees remained calm when he eventually got up and approached her. He said, "Ma, too calm. We must speak." Judy turned, attempting to defuse the situation with a half smile. "A boy, you hungry? I made breakfast. Sit down. Let's eat." He didn't move. "Ma, you hit my wife." Her smile dimmed, and she attempted to wave it off. "You know how Yandy gets under my skin? She disrespected me in my own face, and I just reacted." "Reacted," Mendeecees said, raising his voice. "That you put your hands on my wife in front of my kids. You think that's okay?" Judy's tone hardened. "Don't talk to me like that, Mendeecees. I'm your mother." Menny shook his head. "I love you, Ma. You know I do. But you keep disrespecting my wife, my home. You say I'm choosing her over you, but I'm not. I'm choosing peace." Judy crossed her arms, her voice cracking. "So, what are you saying? You're kicking your mama out. Yandy left the hallway, tears still glistening in her eyes, not saying a word. You don't check me over no woman. I raised you. H. And there it was again. The same wall between them, the one that had always been there. Love mixed with Prime Mendeecees' expression told it all. Ma, I think you need to go stay somewhere else for a while, he murmured in a shaky voice. I can't have this in my house anymore. She didn't have to. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me. You letting that woman turn you against your own blood. Yandy whispered softly. This isn't about turning anyone against anyone. It's about respect. Judy glared at her. Don't talk to me. Mendeecees raised his voice now. Firm, protective. Enough, Ma. You can't stay here if you can't respect my wife. That's final. There was a long pause. Then Judy hurried off to pack her bags without saying anything more. The sound of drawers slamming reverbed. I didn't want this, she said. I never wanted to come between you and your mum. Mendeecees sought for Yandy's hand as she leaned against the wall and sobbed quietly. I know, he answered quietly, but I can't ignore the boundary she crossed. By the time Judy wheeled her small suitcase to the door, her face was stiff. Not a single tear, but her eyes said everything. Her pride wouldn't allow her to. She turned to her son and said, one day you'll know who truly had your back. Then she was gone. The door shut, and the house was quiet once again. But this time it was heavy, depressing, and final. Mendeecees sat down slowly, burying his face with his hands. He felt completely broken for the first time in years. Yandy sat next to him, her voice steady but soft. You did what you had to do, baby. You protected your family. He looked at her, his eyes full of pain. Over the course of the next few days, word spread among the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast, and everyone had an opinion. Erica Mena posted a cryptic message on her story. Sometimes family don't mean peace. Protect your peace anyway. Alright, Mama D responded with her trademark flair. Now see, you can't slap no grown woman and think it's going to end well, baby. Fans flooded social media, arguing who was right and who was wrong. Team Judy defended her, saying Yandy had disrespected the matriarch. However, behind the cameras, the pain was real. Mendeecees hadn't heard from his mother for weeks. He prayed it was her every time his phone rang, but it never was. One night, Yandy saw him sitting on the porch outside, gazing into space. You miss her, she murmured quietly, and he nodded. She's my mum, he added. That won't alter regardless of what transpired. Yandy wrapped her arms around him. She'll come around, babe. Maybe not today, but one day. Meanwhile, Judy sat in her own home, surrounded by family photos, most of them featuring Mendeecees as a child. She held one picture close, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. I raised him right, she whispered. I just don't know when I became the enemy. Despite her reluctance to express sorrow, she realized deep down that she had gone too far and that slapping Yandy had cost her more than just her pride. It had lost her position in her son's life. A few weeks later, Mendeecees confided in a close friend during a sit-down session that was recorded for the program. You can love to people who hate each other, he said softly, but you can't let both control your peace. All I can hope is that they will eventually find it in their hearts to forgive one another. The moment was so intense because the camera focused on his face, which was tired, emotional, and sincere. It wasn't just another hip-hop and love fight. It was real heartbreak and family pain. As the episode came to a close, producers hinted at a potential reunion that might finally bring Judy and Yandy together again. But in the meantime, Fans were left wondering, can love ever truly heal when pride gets in the way? Because one thing is certain, forgiveness isn't easy in this house, and the drama is far from over. The days that followed felt like a dark cloud had descended on Yandy and Mendeecees' house, and the atmosphere had changed, with laughter giving way to silence, and comfort replacing distance. While Yandy had never wanted to be the cause of Mendeecees' conflict between his mother and his marriage, she heard her son ask, "Mommy, where's Grandma Judy?" One evening, as she was putting the kids to bed, Yandy's heart sank every time she passed the hallway where the argument took place, and she could still feel the tension hanging in the air. However, the guilt that followed was more painful than the slap. Yandy forced a grin and added quietly, "Grandma's just taking a little break, baby." Realizing that the question had broken her heart, "She adores you." For the first time, Judy began to doubt herself. She had always been proud and had always thought she was protecting her son. But had she gone too far? Meanwhile, across town, Judy sat in her small apartment surrounded by silence. The walls felt too quiet, too empty. She replayed that moment in her mind. The slap, the look on Mendeecees' face, the way Yandy had stood still, refusing to retaliate. Judy dismissed her friend's call to check on her, saying, "I'm fine. He'll come around." Was she so preoccupied with justifying her job as the mother that she lost what it meant to just love? He always does. But this time, things were different. Mendeecees, trying to keep the family together, buried himself in his work. He told Yandy that he was fine, but when she went to sleep at night, he would look through old pictures of him and his mother, including birthdays, cookouts, and happy times, and wonder how everything went so wrong. He recalled being a child and his mother doing everything she could to raise him alone. The sacrifices, the struggle, the strength. The same woman who had slapped his wife, that she sat next to him and put her hand on his. "I never asked you to. I just wanted respect. I can forgive words, but a slap, that's not something you forget overnight." He nodded slowly. "I get that. But she's not all bad. She's just hurt. She thinks I replaced her." Yandy's voice softened. "You didn't replace her, baby. You just grew up. You built your own family. That's what every parent should want." He gazed at her with sad eyes. "Perhaps, but she interprets it as betrayal." Yandy said, gently swirling her glass, "I lose no matter what I do. If I defend myself, I'm the rude wife. I'm weak if I keep silent." And now Mendeecees is also in pain. Rashidita nodded, understanding all too well the pressure of balancing family and marriage. "Girl, mothers-in-law are a whole different battlefield. But you can't let that guilt eat you up. You did nothing wrong," Kendra added. "Sometimes protecting your peace means letting people walk away, even family." Yandy sighed. "I just hope this doesn't break them completely." Meanwhile, Judy wasn't done. Word started spreading that she was planning to confront Yandy again, this time publicly. Judy walked right up to Yandy and said, "We need to talk." Yandy looked up and tried not to panic. "Now's not the time, Judy." Judy crossed her arms. "You made my son kick me out of his house. You happy now? Nobody made him do anything. He made that choice because he's tired of the disrespect." Judy snapped, "I raised that boy. You think you can walk in here, play perfect wife, and erase me?" Everyone in the area fell silent. The camera shot in, and you could hear a glass drop somewhere in the background. Yandy's eyes glistened, but she didn't back down. This isn't about control. It's about love and boundaries. You want respect? You have to give it too. Judy's face briefly softened. before her pride took over once more. "You're not family. You're just temporary." Yandy stood up, her eyes burning, but her voice remained steady. "Then why are you so afraid of losing your place?" she asked. The room fell into an awkward, heavy silence, and Mama D finally broke it. "Well, damn, she got a point." Stan then left, leaving everyone stunned. Later that evening, Yandy arrived home to find Mendeecees waiting for her. "I heard what happened," he said. "I didn't go there to fight. She came to me." Yandy shook her head. He rubbed his face, frustrated. "I know. I just don't know how to fix this." Yandy looked at him with tired eyes. "Maybe you can't fix everything, baby. Maybe this time it has to fix itself." He sighed, leaning back against the couch. Yandy smiled sadly. Some people can't see clearly until they lose what they love most. The scene ended with Yandy sitting by herself, her voice echoing softly during a confessional segment. "I've been through a lot in my life, but nothing hurts more than family turning against you. I love Mendeecees, and I'll stand by him no matter what." He had not seen his mother like that in years. Wounded, defensive, and desperate. And he knew deep down that it wasn't just about Yandy, but about years of pain Judy never dealt with. When Yandy arrived from her late night shoot, she could see the fatigue written all over him. "You didn't sleep?" she asked quietly, and he shook his head. "Can forgiveness exist without apology?" he asked, sitting alone in the kitchen, the night after the public confrontation, the glow of his phone screen casting a pale light on his face. "My mother appeared on television attempting to argue with my wife. I'm at a loss for words." Yandy sighed and sat across from him. "She's hurting Mendeecees, but so are we. I'm tired of being the punching bag for her pain." He nodded slowly. "You shouldn't have to be. I just wish she could understand that we're not trying to replace her. I just need peace in this house." Yandy reached across the table, gently touching his hand. "Peace doesn't come easy when pride is involved, but you did the right thing." The next day, the producers. At last, Mendeecees' turn. He looked. He swallowed hard before continuing, saying, "I'm not trying to choose sides. I just want peace. But peace ain't possible when the people you love can't stand each other." Later that week, producers set up a sit-down between Yandy and Mendeecees, with cameras rolling as they sat in the backyard, the sound of cicadas filling the silence. "I think we need therapy," said Yandy quietly. "Not just us, but your mom too." Mendeecees rubbed his temples. "She'll never go for that. You know how she feels." Yandy looked at him. Not hopeful, not angry, just honest. Only if she's ready to listen. In the meantime, Judy was venting to her sister in her living room. "Jude, perhaps it's time to stop fighting her and start talking to her." Judy snapped. "I don't need to talk to her. She needs to apologize to me." Her sister raised an eyebrow. "For what?" "For being married to your son." The question hung heavy in the air. Judy didn't respond. Instead, she turned away while feigning to fix her scarf, but her hands shake a little. When Yandy and Mendeecees went to a charity event the next weekend, everything was going well until someone brought up Judy, who has been complaining that you're preventing her from seeing the grandchildren. A friend whispered to Yandy. Yandy's jaw tightened. "That's not true. I never said she couldn't see them. She just hasn't tried." But that rumor spread fast. Within hours, blogs were running headlines like Yandy bans Mendeecees' mum from seeing grandkids. Yandy saw the story on her phone and sighed deeply. "Of course," looked over her shoulder and shook his head. "Here we go again." The situation escalated when Judy took to social media. In a no-deleted post, she wrote, "You can't erase a mother's love. Before the fame, some people forget who kept it down. The post immediately went viral. A week later, Mendeecees called his mother. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again, but there was no answer. That night, he sat on the porch, staring into space. Yandy came out and sat beside him. "She's still not answering?" she asked. He shook his head. "She blocked me." Yandy frowned. "You serious?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, my own mom blocked me." To reach for his hand. "She'll come around." Fans flooded the comments, some calling her toxic, while Yandy remained silent despite the pressure. Mendeecees looked away, his eyes full of sadness, but the screen cut to Yandy sitting alone in her car, whispering to herself, "I love him, but I can't keep living in this emotional crossfire." Perhaps not, but pride can bury it. Later, in another confessional, Mendeecees perfectly captured the pain. People think choosing peace means choosing sides, but it doesn't. It means choosing sanity. "My mum and my wife are both strong women, maybe too strong, but at some point, somebody's got to." The soft, instrumental music swelled as the camera panned out the image of two people trying to hold their love together, while everything around them fell apart. And somewhere across the city, Judy scrolled through old photos on her phone, her son smiling, her grandkids laughing, and for the first time in weeks, her face softened. She whispered quietly, "I just want my family back." A few days went by, but the silence between Judy, Yandy, and Mendeecees only got louder. Every time Yandy picked up her phone, she hovered over Judy's contact, and then put it down again. Pride and pain had created a wall that was too high for anyone to climb. Meanwhile, social media was consuming it all, with pages full of headlines like, "Yandy and Mendeecees family drama explodes." Yandy and Yandy's tension appeared on screen again, and re-edited scenes from previous episodes. Fans were taking sides, with some supporting Yandy, saying, "That woman changed Mendeecees. He forgot where he came from." However, the real story was taking place behind closed doors, in silence. "She finally texted me," he said softly. And Yandy looked up, her eyes softening. "Your mom?" He nodded. "Yeah. She said she wants to talk, but not with cameras. Just us." Yandy smiled faintly for the first time in weeks. "That's a start." He nodded again, but his eyes were worried. "I've been ready. I just hope she is too." It's the next day. They met at a small cafe in the Bronx, a neutral location where no lights, no producers, and no microphones would follow them. Judy was already there. "Hi, Ma." And DC said softly. She nodded without a smile. "Hi, darling." Then her gaze shifted to Yandy. "Yeah." "Hello, Ms. Judy," Yandy said, courteously as she took a seat next to Mendeecees. It was a weighty stillness, the type that seemed as if any word may shatter it. Judy finally let out a sigh. "I came here not to dispute. All I want is the return of my family." Mendeecees bent over. "So Ma, why do you still oppose us? We're not against you." Judy's eyes filled with tears. "Because Mendeecees, I feel like I lost you. Everything changed the moment you stepped outside. The first person you phoned used to be me. I'm now watching your life on TV as if I was some unfamiliar." Yis took a deep breath. "Judy, it's not like that. You remain family. However, every time I attempt to make amends, a battle breaks out." Judy gave a head shake. "You have no idea what it's like to raise a kid by yourself. Stand up for him. Every night, say a prayer for him, and then see another lady replace you." Yandy's gaze softened. "I understand. I do. However, I never attempted to take your place. All I wanted to do was work with him to create something that included you. After a long moment of quiet, Mendeecees reached across the table and took his mother's hand. Judy glanced down at her hands and trembled a little. "Maybe I didn't know how to share him," she said, her voice quivering. "Ma, you're not required to share me. You only need to believe that my love for Andy does not imply my love for you." Judy's mouth quivered. Yandy's eyes welled up with tears as she said, "I said some hurtful things I shouldn't have said. So did I." The atmosphere between them changed from one of rage to one of fragility for the first time in a long time. Later, comprehension. Yandy returned home and sat in the living room, silently thinking about what had just transpired. Mendeecees entered and took a seat next to her. He inquired, "How do you feel?" She responded gently, relieved, but scared too. "One good conversation doesn't erase all the hurt." He grinned. "Yes, but it's a beginning. Occasionally a start is all we need," she said with a little grin. "You're correct, but this time we need to exercise caution. Don't drag it in front of cameras any longer. Stop contributing to the blogs." He chuckled softly. "I wish you success in your endeavor." Yandy grinned and said, "You know how they are. Let them speak after that. For once, we'll let peace make the news." A week later, a startling occurrence was caught on tape. Judy attending Yandy's charity function. Everyone turned as she entered. Some people gasped and whispered, but Yandy remained unflinching. She approached Judy directly, grinned, and gave her a hug. The embrace wasn't flawless. It was careful and rigid, but it was genuine. The audience applauded. With pride shining in his eyes, Mendeecees observed from the sidelines. In her subsequent confessional, Yandy stated, "Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to let it control you. I didn't hug Judy because we're suddenly best friends. I hugged her because I'm done carrying the weight of hate." Judy's own confessional was more emotional. She wiped her eyes as she spoke. "I realized something that day. All the fighting, all the pride, it didn't get me anything but loneliness. I don't want to fight my family anymore. I just want to be part of it again." But not everyone was convinced. Online, fans debated whether the peace would last. Some said, "This is just for the cameras. Wait a few weeks. It will explode." When it was finally Mendeecees' moment, he stared directly into the camera. The drama is visible to everyone, yet they don't see the history. "My mom has always been my rock, but when you start a family, everything changes. Your wife becomes your new home, and when those two worlds collide, someone is bound to get hurt." He swallowed hard before continuing. "I'm not trying to choose sides. I just want peace. But peace ain't possible when the people you love can't stand each other." Later that week, producers set up a sit-down between Yandy and Mendeecees, with cameras rolling as they sat in the backyard. The sound? Then with a sad smile, she said, "Maybe she needs to hear that being wrong doesn't mean being weak." There was a long silence before Mendeecees spoke again. "Do you think there's any coming back from this?" Yandy asked him while she was venting to her sister in her living room. "He embarrassed me by kicking me out like that on camera," she said. "After all I did for him." Her sister sighed. "Maybe it's time to stop fighting her and start talking to her." "I don't need to talk to her. She needs to apologize to me." Her sister raised an eyebrow. "For what?" "For being married to your son." Judy didn't respond. The next weekend, Yandy and Mendeecees went to a charity function, and everything was going well until someone spoke Judy's name. She had been screaming, "You're keeping her from seeing the grandkids." She just looked aside, feigning to adjust her scarf, although her hands were shaking a little. Yandy's jaw tensed when a companion murmured, "That's not true. I never said that she was unable to see them. Simply put, she hasn't tried." The situation worsened when Judy took to social media. In a post that was not removed, she said, "Yandy bans Mendeecees' mom from seeing grandkids." Yandy saw the story on her phone and sighed deeply when he saw it on her phone. Naturally, he looked over her shoulder and shook his head, stated, "A mother's love cannot be erased. Before the fame, some people forget who kept it down." The post went viral instantly. Fans flooded the comments, some siding with Judy, others calling her toxic. Yandy, despite the pressure, stayed silent. She didn't clap back, didn't post a story, didn't say a word, but that silence spoke louder than anything. A week later, Mendeecees called his mom. It went straight to voicemail. He tried again. No answer. That night, he sat on the porch staring into the distance. Yandy came out and sat beside him. "She's still not answering?" she asked. He shook his head. "She blocked me." Yandy frowned. "You serious?" "Yeah, my own mum blocked me," she said, reaching for his hand as he nodded slowly. "She will change her mind. She must. Love doesn't just vanish." But Mendeecees looked away, his eyes filled with sadness. "Maybe not, but pride can bury it." Later in another confessional, Mendeecees summed up the pain perfectly. "People think choosing peace means choosing sides. It doesn't. It means choosing sanity. My mom and my wife are both strong women. Too strong maybe, but at some point, somebody's gotta stop swinging." The screen cut to Yandy sitting alone in her car, whispering to herself, "I love him, but I can't keep living in this conflict of emotions." The image of two people attempting to keep their love together while everything around them broke apart was shown. And elsewhere in the city, Judy was looking through old pictures on her phone as the calm instrumental music grew. Her expression softened for the first time in weeks, her son grinning, her grandchildren laughing, and she said softly, "I just want my family back." A few days passed, but the silence between Judy, Yandy, and Mendeecees only grew louder. Every time Yandy picked up her phone, she'd hover over Judy's contact, then set it back down. Pride and pain had built a wall too high for anyone to climb. Meanwhile, social media was eating it all up. Gossip pages were running wild with headlines like, "Ye's family drama explodes." Judy says it again, re-edited with dramatic subtitles and slow music. Previous episode clips depicted the tension between Judy and Yandy. Fans were choosing sides, with some supporting Judy and others defending Yandy, who has been handling Judy's attitude with grace for years. That woman changed Mendeecees. While the internet debated, the real story was going on behind closed doors. One evening, while Yandy was helping her daughter with her homework, Mendeecees entered the room with his phone in hand and appeared hesitant. He said softly, "Your mom." And then Yandy looked up, her eyes softening. "Yeah," she said, "but not with cameras. Just us." For the first time in weeks, Yandy smiled faintly, which was a start. "Are you sure you're ready for that?" Yandy took a deep breath. They met at a small cafe in the Bronx, a place where no lights, no microphones, and no producers would follow them. Judy was already there when they got there, drinking a cup of tea by the window. Her face was reserved, but her eyes showed a hint of emotion. "Hey, Ma," she said softly, and she nodded without smiling. "Hey, Ms. Judy," Yi said politely, sitting down next to Mendeecees. The silence was heavy, as if it might break at any moment. Judy finally sighed. "I didn't come here to argue. I just want my family back. Mendeecees leaned forward. Yandy swallowed hard. It's not like that, Judy. You're still family. But every time I try to make peace, it turns into a fight. Judy shook her head. You don't understand what it's like to raise a son alone. Fight for him. Pray for him every night, and then watch another woman come in and take your place. She said, I feel like I lost you, Mendeecees. Ever since you got out, everything changed. I used to be the first person you called. Now I'm watching your life on TV, like I'm some stranger. I get that. I really do. But I never tried to replace you. I just wanted to build something with him. Something that included you. There was an extended stillness. Judy shook a little and glanced down at her hands. She said, maybe I didn't know how to share him. In a voice that cracked, Mendeecees grabbed his mother's hand from across the table. Ma, you don't need to share me. You only need to have faith that my love for you does not imply my love for you. Judy's mouth quivered. She muttered as she glanced at Yandy. I made a few harsh remarks, unsuitable things I uttered. Tears came to Yandy's eyes. I did too. The tension between them changed from rage to something more delicate. For the first time in a long time. Later I will understand. Yandy returned home and sat in the living room, silently thinking about what had just transpired. Mendeecees entered and took a seat next to her. He inquired, how do you feel? She responded gently, relieved, but scared too. One good conversation doesn't erase all the hurt, he said. She grinned slightly and said, yeah, but it's a start. And sometimes a start is all we need. A week later, cameras caught a startling moment. Judy arrived at Yandy's charity event. Everyone turned as she walked in, and there were whispers and gasps. But Yandy didn't flinch. You're right, but we have to be careful this time. No more dragging it in front of cameras. No more feeding the blogs. He laughed lightly. Good luck with that. Yandy smirked. You know how they are. Gandhi later said in her confessional that forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened. Mendeecees watched from the side, his eyes shining with pride, as he moved directly towards Judy, smiled, and gave her an embrace that wasn't perfect. It was stiff and cautious, but it was sincere. The audience applauded. It's about making the decision to not allow it to rule you. We were great friends all of a sudden, so I didn't give Judy a hug. I'm tired of bearing the burden of hatred, so I gave her a hug. Judy's own confessional was more emotional. She wiped her eyes as she spoke. I realized something that day. All the fighting, all the pride, it didn't get me anything but loneliness. I don't want to fight my family anymore. I just want to be part of it again. But not everyone was convinced. Online, fans debated whether the peace would last. Some said, this is just for the cameras. In a few weeks, it will explode once again. Others were more upbeat. Perhaps they finally realized that growth suits them. In any case, the moment went viral, and social media was inundated with videos of the embrace. The same blogs that had previously stoked the feud were now celebrating the reunion. And for once, everyone seemed to be breathing easier, including family members and fans. More enjoyable.